Hey everybody, it's Jetpack, and today Her Interactive announced that Mystery of the Seven Keys is going to have 20 plus hours of gameplay in it. So what does that mean? Not much. So I poked through the Her Interactive website because I was very curious on what the past game had for their estimate hours. Secrets Can Kill through Haunted Carousel say 20 plus hours. So right off the bat, I'm not that optimistic for Mystery of the Seven Keys. Specifically, Stay Tuned for Danger comes to mind. That one is very, very short. Baby Pidge on Twitch made a comment to me that the reason that one says 20 plus hours is because you can get soft locked, and that is so real. Moving on, Danger on Deception Island and Secret of Shadow Ranch say 20 hours exactly, so don't you dare go over. And then the best game in the series, Curse of Blackmore Manor, says over 25 hours, which is the longest any of the games say on their site. Secret of the Old Clock goes back to saying 20 exactly. Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon through Sea of Darkness have no mention of hours. Now, Midnight in Salem doesn't say anything on the cover, but within the game description or features on their site, it says over 15 hours of gameplay. So overall, comparing Mystery of the Seven Keys having 20 plus hours of gameplay to the old games and what Her Interactive has said on their site, this sounds pretty good, right? Well, Gooba showed me this website. It's called How Long to Beat, and it's a crowdsource reference to give people a guide on how long a game will take them to complete. They have different levels of completion, so there's like the base game and then some bonus features, but looking specifically at the Need to Do games, there are no games on that site for the main story to take over 10 hours. And the longest completionist, which I'm assuming includes all trophies and optional gameplay, is Shadow at the Water's Edge, Legend of the Crystal Skull, and Midnight in Salem, in that order, with 17, 16, and 15 hours. This leaves a lot of questions to me. Legend of the Crystal Skull, I don't see it at all. I would say it's a medium-length game, in my opinion. Let me know if there's something that leads you to believe differently. But for Midnight in Salem specifically, does that include the achievement on Steam to complete the game in both difficulty levels? For Saw, if you do all of Rentaro's puzzles and the monster Sudoku and the monster nonogram, I can see it taking considerable time. I mean, we're currently streaming Saw, and I think we're on like our 5th or 4th stream. So like I said, this website is crowdsourced, so that's kind of the downfall. They use averages for data, but looking specifically at Legend of the Crystal Skull, only 7 people have added to this data. There's a lot of room for inaccuracies, and if there's an outlier, it can totally sway the data one way or another. For instance, let's say like 2 of these 7 people are really, really good at the games and finish them so quickly. That means the data is going to be skewed their way and make Legend of the Crystal Skull seem like a game you can quickly complete. And looking at the completionist data for Legend of the Crystal Skull, which I mentioned earlier was one of the longer games, this data set only includes one single response. So that can completely be thrown out. It's just not good data. So back to Key. With 20 plus hours of gameplay, I'm curious what we're counting as gameplay, and if this is purely main story gameplay. Is this a player looking through every single inch of the environment? Since now it's 3D open world, there's going to be a lot more to see and look at, in theory. Is this reading every single article and pamphlet? The cafe has a lot of books. How much of that is fluff? And speaking of fluff, are there a lot of dialogue fluff? Is there going to be trophy hunting? Achievements to get on both difficulty levels? Easter eggs? All of these are things we love to see in our games, but I'm wondering how much this is counting towards this 20 plus hours of gameplay. Bottom line, we won't know until we play the game. I personally am cautiously optimistic, but with a requirement for 20 gigabytes of storage, let's just say we'll see. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. We do other things on other platforms, so check us out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye!